If I'm Jeremiah Smith, I'm giving you one more full season, and I'm done. I'm done. What's going on? It's Keyshawn, and welcome to my show, All Facts, No Breaks, presented by Oikos. Stronger makes everything better. Remember to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on all social media, and wherever you get your podcasts. We got a great show today. The person that will be joining us is Fox College football analyst R.J. Young. He's joining us once again. I'm in love with having him on to talk college football, especially when he's wrong and I'm right. What's up, RJ?
I'm chilling, dog. Let's see how right you are.
Well, I mean, Colorado did win more games than you predicted, so I think I was right there. Oklahoma didn't win as many games as you predicted. I think I was right there. I don't know about USC,
though. Are we going to get to the part where I picked the national champion? Are we going to get to that part?
He
did.
Did you pick Ohio State?
He did.
I mean, I'm waiting on an answer. No, I think all of us, when we got down to the final nitty-gritty and we looked at Ohio State losing to Michigan, we knew if they got into the college football playoff that they probably had a strong possibility and a chance of winning it all.
Yeah, so they beat Notre Dame 34-23. It's their seventh national title, the first one since 2014 with, Braxton Miller, Cardell Jones. But my question was, do you think that there wasn't as much – people weren't really talking too much about the national championship this year? Do you think there's a reason for that?
Yes and no. It's a little bit longer than we're used to, and it's also right in the middle of the NFL postseason. And it's traditionally been played on a Monday since the college football playoff became a thing. I don't really see it that way. I think ratings are one thing, but I know that everybody was locked in on the game last night because it was a great game last night. Mm-hmm. And as far as the postseason being as long as it is, that's just the nature of it. I think more than anything else, we're running into an NBA problem, which we're going to fix, which is where we have started talking about who's going where before the season has even ended. And that's in large part due to how they structured the calendar. And we're trying to wrap our arms around what is a fundamental change to college football, not just the transfer portal or name, image, and likeness, but what is basically a salary cap coming into fruition July 1st, looking at $20.5 million. They're going to have to split up among their athletes. Title IX is going to be a big part of this and how you settle this. And we're even talking about whether or not the conference championship games even matter. Mm-hmm. I don't think there was as much attention paid to the national championship game because there was so much attention paid to college football. And I don't view that as a bad thing.
Yeah, I look at the lack of buzz with the notion that Ohio State was going to win the game. It was almost a foregone conclusion that they were going to beat Notre Dame. It's just it is Marcus Freeman's brought something to Notre Dame, making Notre Dame likable, so to speak. Because prior to that, no one liked Notre Dame. Like every time Notre Dame plays, whether they're on NBC and their own television rights deal, it wasn't must-see television for Notre Dame. Notre Dame fans, yes, but people outside of the Notre Dame environment really, truly are not into the Fighting Irish. And so I think you put that together with them playing Ohio State, which is a much more, I guess, inferior opponent for them, you kind of already felt like Ohio State's going to win this football game. I think that was a lack of interest build up. And you are right about all the college football is a long season. You're into the playoffs of NFL season. Somewhat basketball season is right there. So you got a lot going on where they're not the only game in town, so to speak.
You got college basketball too it started, but there's like a lot going on. But Ryan Day's first national championship, do you guys ever see him going in the NFL route, or you see him more as a college coach?
I mean, I can't ever really wrap my hands around college coaches going to the National Football League because so many of them have had a lack of success. And when you are in college, you could just go to a bowl game, you could go to a national championship, you can get into the 12, the final 12, you can get long-term extensions. So I don't really know if his desire is to go into the National Football League. It's a different animal.
Yeah. RJ?
Not everything revolves around getting to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I know that is difficult for some folks to understand, but there is this sport called college football that's been played since 1869, which predates pro football.
Right.
And being a head coach at Ohio State will never mean as much as being a head coach in an NFL city after you have been the head coach at Ohio State. We still compare Pete Carroll's Seattle Seahawks to what he did at USC. Is that fair? No. And as far as college coaches going to the NFL, if you can coach, you can coach. Jimmy Johnson could do it. Barry Switzer could do it with Jimmy Johnson's team. We can keep going on about that. I think more interesting to me is, does Ryan Day want to continue to coach at Ohio State? That's interesting because Chip Kelly said, nah, I don't want to be no head coach no more. I would rather just call plays. And he fell right into a place that was ready-made for him and his skill set where another guy gets to be the CEO. I'm finding that to be more of the conversation. Young guys like Marcus Freeman, like Kenny Dillingham, like Dan Lanning are coming into this going, I didn't bust my behind as a coffee boy or, in my respect, an intern at the Oklahoman so I can get here and leave. That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm going to do. I am curious, however, about NFL coaches choosing to coach college football and the view from the public that it's a step down. I submit to you, Bill Belichick might not have the same sort of success that Deion Sanders had at Colorado, even though we know that Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL coach of all time. He might just be so-so in our sport because it is a totally different sport.
Yeah, college coaches and pro coaches, I mean, like you said, coaching is coaching. The difference is the people you're dealing with. You're dealing with 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. You're dealing with grown-ass men with full beards, with car seats in the back. They don't want to hear any of that nonsense about who's playing, who's not playing, you're going to bench me. It's so different. It's so different. And that's why a lot of college coaches that make that leap to the National Football League, they learn real fast. These are grown-ass men in this building and in these locker rooms, in these meeting rooms. This is not some kid that just left the prom. So your approach has to be different. All of them, for the most part, you mentioned Jimmy and you mentioned Barry. Barry Switzer inherited Jimmy Johnson's team, which was on autopilot. It was on autopilot. Let's be honest with ourselves. Was Barry Switzer a hell of a coach? Yeah, he's been a hell of a coach in college. But you and I could have coached the Dallas Cowboys to that third Super Bowl. They were already on autopilot. Jimmy Johnson had a certain philosophy and style, and he built a culture with the Dallas Cowboys. Pete Carroll was already an NFL coach, whether it was a defensive coordinator with San Francisco, head coach of the New York Jets, New England Patriots, back to USC as our 9th choice, learned how to understand the college game, mastered it, won national titles, and realized I want to make another shot and another run in the pros to prove to the world I wasn't a bust as a pro coach. And he was able to go and do that. Everybody can't coach the pros. I mean, that's just, Matt Rule figured that out real fast. And he took his ass back to college as soon as he got fired. It doesn't work like that. Lane Kiffin figured it out real fast. The Oakland Raiders. It's not for everybody. You're right. It's not. I personally would rather probably stay in college and keep getting extensions every other year. Keep rollover extension and rollover extension. The pros don't do that. They ain't rolling you over because you make a wild card playoff game. So it's a big difference.
Well, freshman phenom Jeremiah Smith capped off an amazing freshman season. He finished with 76 receptions, 1,315 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 1 national championship. My question is, if he was draft eligible this year, where do you guys think he would be picked?
He would probably be the top 3 off the board as a receiver.
Top 3 receiver or top 3 pick?
Top 3 receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, top 3 receiver off the board.
RJ, what do you think?
I think you can have him in 2 years. That's what I think.
You're not. Don't even.
I think you're already trying to take. You're already trying to take one of the stars of my sport that just got here.
Yeah.
No. We're not playing this game.
Okay.
You can have him in 2 years. You can have him after Heisman winners. You can have him after Biletnikoff Awards. You can have him after he has made an assault on the sport that we have not seen since perhaps Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Keep going on this one, right? Devontae Smith. You can have him in 2 years, but you cannot have him this year and you cannot have him next year. Stop trying to take my kids and put them in the NFL. You're already talking about what grown men be doing over there or not doing over there. All right? I need you to go. You can't have it both ways. Either they're kids and they stay with me, or they grown and they go with you. You can't have both. Now we got one. You're going to be watching him for the next couple of years. You're going to see what he's about. You're going to see what he's up to before he shows up there to put an assault on your sport. But for the time being, leave JJ alone. That belongs to college football for the next 2 years.
Well, what I would say, I would give him 2 years. I'd give him one more full season at Ohio State. And in his junior year, all I want him to do is train and get ready for the National Football League.
You don't want him to
So
play
you
football?
want fans to hate him before he gets to the National
Hey,
Football
it's the
League.
reality of it. It's about protecting your asset, protecting who he is. Go to school, go to class every single day, do the things that you need to educate your mind, and then focus in on getting your body and your mind ready for the National Football League. It will not
What?
drop his value. None of that. He's giving you 2 years of
Keyshawn.
film. He's giving you a
Keyshawn.
national title, maybe 2 national titles. Whether it's a Joey Bosa who did it, whether it was a Jamar Chase who did it, whether it was a Stingley who did it,
That's 'cause of
I
COVID.
could go on and on and on about guys who did not finish playing college football and went on to be high draft picks and had success in the National Football. Hey, what's the difference between that and the NBA? Kyrie Irving played four games at Duke.
He was hurt.
Time out.
Okay,
Time
well,
out.
I'm
Time out.
protecting
Time out.
him
Time
from
out.
getting
Time
hurt.
out.
He was hurt.
I'm
though.
protecting him from
You
getting hurt.
can't compare college basketball players to football players. You can't do that. We get in the car wrecks every single play.
That's
Don't
why
do
I'm
that.
protecting
Don't do that.
him.
You're going to get one of these basketball players hurt out here.
No, they already know.
Right?
I've had many conversations with basketball players about playing football, not what they want to do. But this is why I'm trying to protect the kid, let him play in 2025, and then that's it.
But
We're done. There's nothing else to talk about.
You're not protecting him by asking him to sit out. You are taking away all the money that he would otherwise
Oh,
make.
And you're
God.
taking away
No
12
one cares
games of
about the
football.
Playing
NIL
football.
money, man. He
For
get ready to
playing
get
football.
paid.
But you're not
And
playing.
you are ruining his relationship with the public. You are
Oh,
ruining it
God,
because
stop.
they don't see him play.
Now you see what happened
And
to
you
Cam
only
Ward?
get so many years
I
to
mean-
play college football. Like, that's the problem.
Ugh.
You get, like, we're playing with a rule right now that you probably would hate. It's 5 for 5. You might get 5 years to play, right? But then you got to get up out of here because we got 7th-year starters and whatnot. You only get so much time to play college football. You can play in the NFL until somebody kicks you out. That's it. I don't think that you should give up what it means to be a legend, a walking legend everywhere you go, because what you did at Ohio State, USC, Oklahoma, Texas, whatever, because you can sell insurance later. You can sell the HVAC equipment later. You can have a podcast later. Right now, when you are playing the best football of your life, you are in the best shape of your life, and the money is coming to you, whether you want it to or not. Go do what you are on this earth to do.
Right.
You're on this earth to play football.
Nope.
You're getting paid
Not
to play
advising that young
football.
man. Not advising that young man to do that. Sorry, I'm not advising him to do it. I'm not going to take unnecessary risk.
I just think it's counterintuitive to not play 12 full games, just a whole season.
It's
That's-
not 12
Hey,
full
Keyshawn,
games.
did you play your last year before you went to the NFL?
Yes.
Absolutely, he did. That's why he went number 1, probably.
Yes, absolutely.
Because he played.
But also thought about not playing and leaving early. But these rules and the way things are now wasn't necessarily
But you can sit
around.
out, right?
But if I was playing in this day and age, I wouldn't play my junior year. I would
you'd
sit
have had
out.
Brad, and then you'd.
Hey, man, if I was playing in this day and age, I wouldn't have pursued a PhD in English. I would have just gone straight into the business. But, like hindsight, it's perfect. It's 2020.
Yeah, but I'm not-
we all see it well.
I'm not doing it. If I'm him, if I'm Jeremiah Smith, I'm giving you one more full season, and I'm done. I'm done. That's just me.
You're making it hard on not just yourself, you're also making it hard on everybody who loves you, because they also have to deal with, hey, why isn't he playing?
Everybody,
And you don't get to say,
everybody knows
oh, go
why
talk to
he's
him.
not- Everybody knows.
You got to wear that at church.
Everybody knows.
You got to wear
why
that
he's
at
not
work.
Playing, no, everybody would know. He's not playing because he wants to protect his asset. But if you think different, you think different. Me personally, with a guy that's this high, that's valued this high, that's this good, there's no need to risk the opportunity to get drafted at the highest level and make a whole lot of money. I understand we get caught up in this NIL stuff about, he can make $2 million. He can make $3 million. It's not the same as $45 million guaranteed. It's a big difference.
Hey, Keyshawn, isn't that your second contract? That's not your first one.
No.
Right? Your first one is
his first one
might be if he goes over.
His first one, by the time he comes out in the draft, will be $40+ million. It'll probably be right around 40.
But you slot it.
Probably right around 40.
You slot it. We slot you differently for wide receiver than we do for quarterback.
No. Because where he gets drafted, I'm going to assume he goes in the top 5 whenever he comes out. He'll be a top 5
What did Marvin
pick.
Harrison get?
That number as a top 5 pick 3 years from now will be about 38 to probably 44 million of fully guaranteed money.
See, now you're going to make me go into my economics bag over here and say, what's the price of housing? What's inflation doing? Where are you working? Are you working in Texas? Is state income tax over there? Because it's not over in Texas. There is in California. We can do this, right, is what I'm saying. We can do this. And I get it. You think that he should sit out after next year.
That's just me. Now, let me ask you a question. Did Bosa play his junior year, or was it a senior?
He tried.
Senior or junior year?
He tried. He got hurt.
He got hurt and shut it down after one game. Shut it down.
Yeah.
Did Jamar Chase shut it down?
No.
Yeah.
No, Jamar Chase went as high as he did because he put an assault on this sport that last year.
No. No,
he didn't play. Yards that man had.
RJ, remember, he did not play his senior or his junior year. It was either junior or senior year.
Opt-out year.
The opt-out year was 2020, right? So that's COVID year.
Yeah.
That year,
he didn't
fine.
play.
Do what you got to do in 2020.
He didn't play at all the year he got drafted. Check it out.
I don't think Micah did either. Now that we talked about
Micah Parsons did not play. And I believe Stingley did not play.
Yeah, well, see, the thing about Derek, though, man.
Stingley didn't get drafted
So
high.
Dave Aranda told a story about getting Derek Stingley on campus.
But he didn't get drafted high.
Did
he was top 3.
He was.
Stingley went like 3rd.
He did. Yeah,
and
he did.
The way that it went was he was so far ahead as 18-year-old on campus that they wanted to play him in the bowl game, wanted to play him in the Citrus Bowl, couldn't do it. Derek is just different. Like, I get what you're saying, right? When you got these guys that are just different, you want to protect them from what they might do in the National Football League.
He looks like he's played in the National Football League 10 years already.
He'll get there.
But that's just my whole thing is he looks ready. He looks ready.
All right, well, let's go back to the national championship. Notre Dame was down 16 with 9 minutes left, and they decided to kick a field goal.
Doink.
It doinked it. How do you guys feel about that? You think they should have just went for it?
I was watching that, and I said, man, I kick a field goal right here. I'm getting the points. But that's just me. I'm conservative like that. I want to get the points, and then I won't put it on my defense maybe if we'd have thought about an onside kick or whatever, but I could get the points. Get the points. Because when you get the points, you're going to squeeze them even more. You're going to make Ryan Day and Ohio State, they're going to get tight, and anything could happen at that point.
RJ, what do you think?
I mean, since he missed it, the obvious answer is you should have gone for it. But that's
hindsight.
That's hindsight.
Yeah.
It's hindsight. It is worth pointing out that Ohio State had done itself a service going into this where Marcus Freeman felt like taking the field goal was the thing to do. If Ohio State had not bowed up against Texas, bowed up against Tennessee, shown that Oregon, shown these great goal line stands, even against Michigan, I perhaps think that you're going after it because of what you did in the first series. I'm thinking the whole time, hey, man, you got Riley Leonard, and he's puking in the first half after first series, but make them stop this QB power. Make them do that because you were hurting them with that. But because of their red zone defense late in the season, you're probably going, all right, let me see if I just can't chip away at this and perhaps get the ball back and make them tight. In hindsight, once again, I like the play that they actually ran for the 2-point conversion. I'm thinking, there's a little throwback here. There's something here where you can get some misdirection going. It honestly didn't matter as much as we thought it would because of how the game finished. As much as people want to talk about if they'd have got 6 on that,
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith.
Four straight QB runs turned into, all right, JJ, we're
Yeah.
going to throw it deep to you, baby. You got one-on-one. Make a play.
Just go 60 real quick. Crazy.
My
Yeah,
goodness, man. Like that was the game for me. That was it. Like, as much as we want to talk about what Marcus Freeman did or didn't do, you know, if they get points, they get points, and maybe it's different. But they were tight, to Keyshawn's point. They were tight. That's why they were QB running it, trying to just eke the clock out. And then somebody somewhere said, throw the ball to four.
Ball, man. Yeah.
Throw the ball to four. But let him go win it or lose it.
Right.
And that's what happened. And I love that so much. That was my favorite moment in that game.
No, they if he puts it out there just a little further, he can walk in.
Yeah, he's gone.
He slowed down just a little bit to catch it. If he just let him run underneath it, it would have been a walk-in touchdown. But they didn't really need it. They won the game in the end. I thought Marcus Freeman did a tremendous job. You know, it shows his ability, because a lot of people question who he was as a head coach when he was hired, replacing Brian Kelly. But in the end, I think Notre Dame fans, they should be extremely happy with Marcus Freeman and give him a new extension. This episode of All Facts, No Breaks is presented by Cologuard, a non-invasive colon cancer screening test. As many of you know, cancer has personally impacted my family, making awareness around cancer screening especially important to me. Colon cancer is one of the most preventable, yet least prevented cancers. However, when detected early, the survival rate is 90%, which is why screening and early detection are crucial in reducing colon cancer deaths. The American Cancer Society recommends individuals at average risk begin screening at age 45. One convenient option is the Cologuard test, a prescription-based at-home screening with no prep required, unlike a traditional colonoscopy. It's delivered right to your door, allowing you to collect a sample comfortably at home on your own schedule with zero downtime. It's simple, convenient, and affordable way to take control of your health. So ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. Request a Cologuard prescription today at Cologuard.com/podcast. The Cologuard test is intended to screen adults 45 and older at average risk for colorectal cancer. Do not use Cologuard test if you have had anomalous, have inflammatory bowel disease, and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colorectal cancer. A Cologuard test is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Cologuard test performance in adults ages 45 to 49 is estimated based on a large clinical study of patients 50 and older. False positives and false negatives can occur. Cologuard is available by prescription only.
All right, so Buckeyes quarterback Will Howard, he was the offensive MVP. He went 17 for 21, 231 passing yards, 57 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think it's fair to say he's played exceptional in the college football playoffs. Do you guys think that his draft stock has heightened? Do you think he's because what I saw on Twitter, people are saying he's a top 5 quarterback. I don't know how much I believe that, but what do you guys think?
No, he might be a top 5 quarterback. Don't mean he's going to get picked high. I mean, there's only
I'm saying in the
quarterbacks.
draft, yeah.
There's only 2 quarterbacks that probably go in the first round this year anyway. And those guys, that guy would be Cam Ward in Miami and Shedeur Sanders of Colorado. Outside of that, the quarterback draft class is pretty weak. You know, he's fine. I don't think he's anything that people are going to be scratching and clawing and fighting over to move up and draft.
RJ, what do you think?
I think he's Kenny Pickett in this NFL draft. Somebody might reach up and go get him, but will he play to that level? Remains to be seen. I always look at the quarterback draft class and ask this question: can you be what Jayden Daniels is for the Commanders? Is there potential for that? Can you be what C.J. Stroud is for the Houston Texans? Is there potential for that? Can you be the hope that they have with Caleb Williams in Chicago? Is there potential for that? And then there's everybody else. Now, that aside, I think Will Howard showed a lot about his ability to throw the ball, particularly in the postseason, that we just hadn't seen. At Kansas State, he was much more of a Riley Leonard kind of player,
Right?
like a battering ram and a guy that you didn't expect to just stretch the field vertically, and you certainly weren't asking him to go through reads. In this postseason in particular, he's had some really excellent throws over the middle and tight windows. They've run a lot of levels concepts. They've run a lot of things that put the ball in his hands going, make the best decision here. And usually he did, whether it was Carnell Tate, Emeka Ibuka, G. Scott, or Jeremiah Smith. I think that part of his game, people are going to look at the film and go, oh, this guy can actually play in the National Football League. In as far as being a high draft pick, I just don't see it. Now, I've been wrong about this because quarterback is one of those positions where you will overreach or believe that somebody is worth the risk, and you might come up good. I mean, famously, Dak Prescott's a 4th-round pick. I believe Russell Wilson was a 3rd-round pick.
Right.
But then you could end up with Will Levis, who's a 2nd-round pick. It's hit or miss on that one. I'm more interested in what he did in winning time, right?
Yeah.
Because we had winning time here, and he made a play. Like, as much as Jeremiah Smith made a play, Will Howard made a play. That is what I think I would sell myself to the NFL as. Do you need somebody that can go get you a W? Because I'll go get you a W.
Right.
Yeah, that's not going to work, though.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that
there's a lot of dudes that can go get you a W.
I'm trying to get dudes drafted. Keyshawn like, nah, just don't even show up. Don't even show up.
No,
I'm out here trying to give people jobs.
Get drafted.
I'm trying to get people in here, highly. I'm trying to get you drafted. Oh, I'm trying to get you overvalued. I'm trying to get you over. Keyshawn, I'm trying to get you overpaid. I'm trying to make sure everybody eat out here.
You can't fool the people that know, no matter how much you sell it. Those people that know,
yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
No. Yes, you can.
No, the people,
yes, you can.
People that
yes,
know,
hell, you
couple
can.
people that got tricked.
The people that know.
Hey, where's Trey Lance doing? What's Trey Lance doing right now?
Yeah, but
like I said, Paxton Lynch, all
the
those
people that know.
Yes, hell, you can.
The people that know. I didn't say people that. I didn't say RJ. I didn't say the people that sell you as if they know, or people make you believe that they know. It's the people that actually know. You can't fool the good ones. You might be able to fool dudes that, you might be able to fool a Josh McDaniels who thinks he knows. You may be able to fool him.
Unless you got Paul Mooney over there, you know something.
If
you got Paul Mooney over there and you know something, you tell me, all right?
No, but
otherwise,
you should.
When you say the people that know, hey man, how big is that circle?
Yes,
how many people you think got these jobs that know?
It's a bigger circle than what you think. It really truly is. But Andy Reid ain't getting fooled by that. That ain't gonna fool him. That's fool's gold. I'm just throwing a name out there. As a quarterback guy, you ain't gonna be able to do this to him. You might be able to do that to some people that claim to be quarterback guys.
I feel like you saying you're not gonna be able to do that to Bill Belichick, right? Like, you can't pick a head coach who's had a quarterback.
Bill Belichick, you can fool
Bill
Belichick.
That one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live,
Bill
dog.
Belichick, you can do that.
That's not what we're talking about.
You can do that to Bill, because Bill ain't really been keen on the quarterback position. He fell into Tom Brady, and then it turned into the greatest dude ever. But it wasn't like Bill saw Tom Brady at Michigan and was like, I got to have him.
Like, oh, we'll throw him a bone in the 6.
You do understand that, right?
No, because the way this goes is Mike Riley wanted to draft Tom Brady, and he wanted him to SC.
Yeah, I wanted him
John
too.
Robinson said, no, we
wanted him too.
So that's one.
No, I wanted Tom too.
The second one is Tom Brady lit Alabama's ass up in the Orange Bowl. And Mike Riley was like, I want him in San Diego.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, well, you can have him when it comes time. And they went and got Jawan Sider, who's the running backs coach at Penn State, over Tom friggin' Brady. And Belichick was like, is he still there? Hell yeah. Go get him. Go get him right now.
Who know, he was there in the 2nd round. He was there in the 3rd round. He was there in the 4th, the 5th, in the 6th. Oh, okay, we got to pick. I think we'll.
Did you see who they drafted ahead of him?
Doesn't matter. If I wanted him, like Mike Riley wanted him, because guess what? Riles knows quarterbacks. As I said to you before, those that know.
Riles was going to take him in the 6th.
Doesn't matter.
He was going to take him in the 6th. He had him slotted right where you could go.
He wanted him in high school when we was at SC. He wanted Tom.
I know. Only man that watched him play high school football.
He wanted him.
The only man that recruited him. Nothing would make me more into the Joker than that story. Like, I love Mike Riley, one of the nicest men I've ever met in coaching. But I would have turned into a villain. I would have been like, wait,
He's too nice.
Yeah, hey, Rob. Now, Coach Rob, give me my man. I'm the quarterback's coach. Give me my man. I've been so mad.
All right, moving on to next year's national championships. We've got the Buckeyes and Texas Longhorns as favorites. They play each other week 1. Who do you guys have as the favorite to win the national championship this year or next year?
I couldn't.
It's
RJ is
so
ahead of
much.
me on this one.
Yeah.
They just finished
Keyshawn, you
last
might go
night.
check out foxsports.com where there's the top 25 way too early. Might have some helpful suggestions in there
We
when you're
got
making
it.
your picks about who ought to win, the national championship. You can see I got number 1, number 2, Ohio State, Texas right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just say that Ohio State gonna run it back. Julian Sands got to do what Will Howard did. Hey man, be the guy that is spreading the ball out to these playmakers because they still got dudes, man, and they still got dudes on dudes. And behind him, Tavian St. Clair ain't no joke. That's the second best quarterback in the 2025 class. But it's the Arch Manning experience, and if the Arch Manning experience turns out to be the one that we think it's going to be, yeah, we'll see them in the playoff again. Will they be playing for the national championship? Who knows? We got 12-team playoff. Like we had 2 games that I thought could have been the national championship before we got to the national championship. But it's more important to me now to know which one of these teams is going to qualify for the 12-team playoff because quiet as it is kept, it worked. Penn State got in, Tennessee got in, Clemson got in. Everybody should have been in, got in. And I even had somebody still yelling that Alabama should have been in until Michigan put the kibosh on that. I'm fascinated with how the season's going to go because you could also have another Indiana. You could either have another team that comes out of nowhere to show up in this thing that shouldn't be there. As it stands, at the top, it's going to be Ohio State, Texas, till somebody tells me different.
Why you like Penn State so much, man? I really want to know.
Why do I like who?
Penn State so much.
I don't like Penn State so much. It's more like, who do they lose to? Who do they lose to? They lose to Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame.
And Notre Dame.
Oregon. Like they lose to class competition. They don't take no soft L's. I can't say that about Texas. I can't say that about Ohio State. Like most years, you are looking at them going, like this Ohio State team, what the hell were y'all doing against Nebraska? What was that? I don't know. And then you're looking at how tight the game is against teams like Michigan, and you lose that game. Penn State is there because James Franklin continues to do what he needs to do at Penn State. Like, what sucks about being a guy like James Franklin is he has the same record against top 5 opponents that Frank Beamer does. The difference is you can't do that no more because we play for championships in a very real way. It's not good enough to get to the Rose Bowl because it doesn't even mean the same anymore. So James Franklin has always been doing this, and I can't remember the last time he had the same offensive and defensive coordinators coaching for him back-to-back years. And that's going to be true yet again. He had a new OC and a new DC, and he took him all the way to the Final Four. He lost Tom Allen to Clemson. He got to go find somebody else to do that job. Like, I try to give the man his flowers because I don't think he's that good at talking about himself, and he's not as affable as Marcus Freeman is. Like, James Franklin be visibly upset on the sidelines and yelling, right? I don't really get down with that. Marcus Freeman was doing a great job of just looking disappointed in the play and the penalties that he was getting. And I was going, man, that's why you love that, man. That's it. I don't want to play for a man who is going to chew me out because I made a mistake. I know I made a mistake. I don't like making mistakes. I make them all the time, but I don't like making them. I like playing for a man who is going to say, hey, son, did I not coach you right? What did I do? Is it about me? Because I felt like I put this in and we told you what you were supposed to do on this play. You just didn't do it. So maybe you know something that I don't. Talk to me. I mean, Tony Dungy did that. Lovie Smith did that. Marcus Freeman does that. But I'm going to tell you that James Franklin and Penn State be doing exactly what they need to do, except winning the games that absolutely positively matter. Like that you got to beat Notre Dame. You have to. And you couldn't get it done. That said, they got Nick Singleton, they got Katron Allen, they got Drew Allard, they got Denied Dennis Sutton, all coming back. They ought to be right back in this thing and have a shot to run into it in the tournament.
Yeah, they're gonna always produce high level pro football players. I'm just not sold on the finished product that James Franklin puts out there come postseason time. It just doesn't move me. It doesn't get me excited watching him coach it's almost like I can go to the restroom and come back and know exactly what's going to happen. But, you know.
Do you have a way too early Heisman favorite? RJ?
Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith?
Jeremiah Smith, Arch Manning.
I like the South
You know, like,
Carolina
it's
quarterback.
it's the suspects that you would suspect, right? Like, it's those dudes. I mean, until somebody shows up to take it from them. But then again, you know, going into last season, Ollie Gordon was on that list. You know, like I think of all the guys that started out on the list just fell off of it. Carson Beck
that
was on that
happens
list.
every single year. They had your Oklahoma quarterback was the Heisman favorite at one
Dylan
point.
Gabriel?
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer
Auburn's quarterback.
Spencer
You mean
Rattler.
Auburn's
No,
quarterback.
I was talking about Spencer Rattler.
You mean South Carolina's quarterback?
That's your quarterback.
Oh, no, quarterbacks that stay at Oklahoma win Heisman trophies, or at least end up there.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
All right,
And
here we
that's-
go. We're going to switch over to the NFL. I want to start with my strongest performance of the week, presented by Oikos. Stronger makes everything better. This week's strongest performance goes to quarterback Jayden Daniels of the Washington Commanders. Jayden Daniels, rookie, obviously. They win this football game in the divisional round, 45-31 over the Detroit Lions on Saturday at Ford Field. I'm sure plenty of people didn't think that Jayden Daniels would go in to a sold-out, hostile environment in Detroit and cap off. He do exactly what he did. He was 22 of 31, 299, 2 touchdowns, and another 51 on the ground. The Commanders are returning to the NFC Championship game for the first time in 33 years. The last time was in 1992. He'll become the 6th rookie quarterback in NFL history to play in a conference championship game, with the likes of Sean King in 99 with the Buccaneers,
Your guy.
Ben Roethlisberger with the Steelers in 04, Joe Flacco with the Ravens in 08, Mark Sanchez did it in 09 with the Jets, and Brock Purdy in 2022 with the 49ers, and now Jayden Daniels with the Washington Commanders. Is this the best rookie, RJ, of all time, despite position?
No, we're not there. We're not there. Like, you rattle off all those names. Which one of those dudes won the Super Bowl?
None of them won it
Like,
as a rookie.
That's what I'm saying, right? You know, like, you want to be the greatest? Go win it. Go win it. Now, there's no NFC North teams left, which is wild, because that division was a monster. And then it got to the playoffs, and you know what? It's almost like the NFL selection committee did a bad job. I think that what Jayden did was great. I don't think enough has been said about Detroit played a really good football game, and they put up a bunch of points too. It's just they had something for each and every series. And the thing about Jayden that I believe most people miss is my man's has been this guy since he was 17 years old. I first met Jayden at the opening. He didn't get to participate because he was hurt, but he has been the same low-key, even-keel player that everybody has seen at Washington, but even at Arizona State when he's playing for Herm. I've now learned that they didn't let that Ferrari get out of second gear, because he gets to LSU and Mike Denbrock says, wait, you can run around? Oh, you're faster than almost everybody but Malik Neighbors? Let's just do some of that. And he goes 3,800, 1,100, he wins the Heisman. And then Cliff Kingsbury, who saw what you needed to do with Kyler, said, go get Jayden and I'll make it work. And Dan Quinn puts a defense on the field that can go blow for blow with the best friggin' offense in the NFC and the hottest coordinator in the NFC, and nobody says nothing about that. Like, I want to talk about quarterbacks in as much as we need to talk about quarterbacks. But what I was more impressed with is the complete team performance that I saw from Washington. I was really impressed by that. Can they do that this weekend? I don't know, because that dude Saquon, he a little bit, he different.
Different. And I think Jayden can go into Philadelphia and do it. They're split this year 1-1. Washington 1-1, Philly 1-1. And in terms of Jayden, I've been watching Jayden since high school. You saw him early at ASU. I saw him early in Pop Warner into high school. So I remember him when he was just a popsicle, just a licorice, just a little skinny, little twerp with his elbows. You know, you can see how skinny he was. You can see the bones in the elbows.
Changed.
I mean, it's just, you know, and you talk about Herm Edwards and company not wanting to unleash him. They were protecting him because, remember, he was 175 pounds soaking wet on a rainy day as a true freshman at ASU getting a starting nod. So he never really fully got a chance to fully mature because ASU got into a little bit of the recruiting troubles, and then Herm eventually was going to be let go. So it was time for everybody to kind of go their separate ways. He goes to LSU, and Brian Kelly and Denbrock figured out what to do with him offensively, although his junior year, there was a lot of, rumblings about the unhappiness of his play with not just the coaching staff, but also with the LSU fan base. And then he came back his senior year, won the Heisman, and did the things that he was able to do. He certainly is benefiting from having a dynamic coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball. You mentioned Cliff Kingsbury. I cannot mention Cliff Kingsbury without mentioning Anthony Lynn, who is the run game coordinator. So you have to have the pass game coordinator and the run game coordinator. They have to be in sync, which means that things have to mirror each other. The offensive line protection scheme has to look just like the running game. Can't be different. And I know a lot of people out there, Cliff Kingsbury, because his title says offensive coordinator. But there's a guy named Anthony Lynn who's running the run game that mirrors what they do in the passing game. So I want to give those kudos to both of them, as well with the emergence of a dude named Jayden Daniels. And you also mentioned Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can't see over the line. Jayden Daniels can stand in the pocket and actually see over the line and deliver the football. But a lot of that is his ability as just a raw young talent. I believe he is the best rookie that I've ever seen, because guess what? He has his team that wasn't expected to do anything in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
literally.
You predicted them to win 4 games, and now they're in the NFC Championship.
They in 4 games. They're in the NFC Championship game. Literally, you followed Stroud's success as a rookie, a good friend of yours, growing up in the same environment, neighborhood area. You had to go and duplicate and then some that C.J. Stroud was able to put on the field a year ago for the Houston Texans. I think I didn't see O.J. play, and I didn't see Jim Brown play, and all. I'm just talking about, from my eyes, since I learned professional football and understanding it, he's the best rookie I've ever seen, especially on the offensive side.
RJ, if he's not, who is the best rookie in your opinion, or the best rookie year?
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
See, I didn't see Jim
Brown.
Brown.
I can't, yeah.
And if it ain't Jim Brown, it's Barry Sanders.
I didn't see
I
him.
can do this all day.
I didn't see him.
I don't give a damn that I didn't watch him play.
I didn't see him.
I seen enough YouTube clips.
Go
wait a
YouTube,
second. Jim Brown did what to who?
Yeah, I gotta go.
I know
on YouTube
Jim
for
Brown.
Jim
Look,
Brown.
I'm not arguing about Jim Brown, because when I was working at ESPN on Countdown for 10 years with Tom Jackson, that's the baddest dude ever to play. That's it. Tom said. So I'm not gonna argue with Tom. I just never saw it. I didn't see it.
I didn't need to see Deacon Jones play to know who Deacon Jones is.
I know who they are.
I didn't need to say Night Train Lane play to know who Night Train Lane is.
I gotta see him to be able to judge it. That's why when people talk about the greatest of this, the greatest of that, I'm like, man, I didn't see no Havlicek play. I don't know about that. I actually saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play. I saw Jordan. I saw LeBron. I seen these guys. I seen Marcus Allen.
You know that there are children watching this show that ain't seen you play, right?
And that's okay.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
All right.
And I'm okay with that.
They're gonna be like, who is he to Jamar Chase?
I'm fine. I don't have an ego like that. I'm good.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. I'd be careful about that. That's all.
No, it's fine. There's people that have seen me play. There's people that didn't see me play. They can go pick up, just give me the damn ball. They can get it on Amazon anytime they want to. It was a New York Times bestseller, and they're still selling them left and right, like hotcakes.
All right, let's just move on. So AJ Brown said that the snow game wasn't fun, and he said, quote, "I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy." Dad, have you ever had a snow game that was just crazy that you could remember that you just couldn't even?
No, not snow. I had cold weather, but not snow. Snow game, no, it came down a little heavy, but it wasn't anything that was a problem.
There's never been like a weather issue?
Nah.
No. I saw that game. It's like you can't even cut, unless you're Saquon, but you can't even.
You can cut. It's just it's the same as playing in the rain. It's slippery. I know where I'm going. You don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
And then with the snow coming down in your eyes, it's hard to see. That's for sure. It's literally hard to see. Unlike rain, you can still pick up the ball pretty good. In the snow, it's a little harder to pick up the ball.
And you can't even it's hard to tackle in the snow. I feel like harder than the rain.
No, I mean
Like
it's the
some of
same, I guess. I've never really. It was cold. Cold was always an issue early in my career. It was the cold.
yeah,
And I'm talking like my rookie
California,
year. That was it.
USC, and
Yeah,
then
coming from
you go to New
California
York.
and going to Buffalo, that wasn't it. Wasn't it, RJ? Too cold.
All right, so moving on to a team that lost, the Lions. Do you guys think that their Super Bowl window is gone, or you think they still have a couple more years to maybe get it done?
I think they're going to have a couple more years to get it done. Whenever you're gonna lose coordinators and Ben Johnson to Chicago, and I'm thinking Aaron Glenn to New York Jets, you still have the head coach. It's like Nick Sirianni. He lost his coordinators after their Super Bowl loss, and he was able to now bring in, after last year's debacle, bring in two new coordinators and Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore, and they're looking like they're going to be back in the Super Bowl again. So Dan Campbell's there. I think he'll hire the right people.
Aaron Glenn, he how many interviews he's just gotten the Jets, or what other?
Jets, Jacksonville, New Orleans,
Ooh, New Orleans.
Dallas, I think. I think he's pretty much interviewed for every job.
Yeah, he should be a head coach.
No, he'll get hired.
What do you
He'll probably
think?
get hired by the Jets by the time we're off the air.
What do you think, RJ?
I don't wish the Jets on nobody. I didn't wish the Jets on you, Keyshawn. I don't wish the Jets on nobody. I don't.
No, but do you think the Lions' window is closed, or do you think they still have a couple more years to win a Super Bowl?
Man, look, the way that the CBA's worked out and the way the salary cap goes, it feels like that window is closing. It really does. You're also losing the guy that many people assign to Jared Goff's resurgence. I would also add here, whenever Jared Goff has had a wonderkin offensive coordinator, going back to Sean McVay, it's been real cool to watch him play because the remote control knows exactly where to go with the football. I'll be curious to find out who Dan goes to get for him. Now, that said, I mean, we all know Jahmyr Gibbs is a dude. Jameson Williams is a dude. That defense is legitimately awesome. I think it's going to be all right. But, I mean, it's almost like saying, is the Buffalo Bills' window going to close? No,
Right.
I don't think so. Not if you put into place what I think they have, which is a structure that works. I think the structure works.
Okay, that's fair. So moving on to the Ravens Bills, it was the two MVP favorites, and the Bills took it. What do you guys think? Do you think that Josh Allen deserves the MVP, or do you think Lamar deserves the MVP?
Josh Allen
Because it's
deserves
regular
MVP.
season.
He deserves the MVP. He doesn't have, look, Lamar's regular season numbers are better than Josh's, but Josh felt like he had to carry the team a little bit more than Lamar. So go ahead, give him the MVP. They've been wanting to give it to him for the last 4 years anyway.
Forever,
So you get an opportunity to give it to him now.
What about you, RJ? Who do you think's the MVP?
It's interesting. I got the first quarterback to go 4,000 yards passing, 800 yards rushing in a season in Lamar Jackson on a great football team where he has played great. We're having this discussion because they lost in the playoffs, and that has been the bugaboo for Lamar Jackson, who is the only multi-MVP to not win a Super Bowl. And we have a contingent of our colleagues who don't believe that anybody that wins an MVP can truly be great if they have never won a championship. I love watching that dude play. I love watching Josh Allen play. This is one of these seasons where I'm okay. I will remind people, though, along with being a multi-MVP winner, Lamar Jackson is one of two people who was voted unanimous MVP in the history of this league. One of them is Tom Brady in 2010. Everybody calls him GOAT. The other one is that guy who has played 7 years in this league and has been destroying everybody in the regular season for the most part. And Zay Flowers last year kind of ruins it for you. This year, you put the ball on the floor, you get him down there for the 2-point. It doesn't go your way. Your best TD catcher of all time drops the pass near the end zone. It doesn't go your way.
Crazy.
I think that either way, it's going to be fine. I'm okay. I don't think that there's a clear winner. I don't think that there's a clear loser. My vote is going to go to Lamar Jackson because I think it means more to the Baltimore Ravens to have him on the football field than it does for Josh Allen, but I could probably be swayed, right? Especially given what Derrick Henry meant to them going into 2024.
Right.
But this is not a conversation I think needs to go further than, is it Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? Yes. And then we'll see what the voting looks like.
Okay. So Deion Sanders' future with the Cowboys. I'm going to ask you, RJ, because I know you're a Cowboys guy. Do you think that they're actually interested in Coach Prime, and do you think he would take the job?
I wrote about this, and I had to go into Taylor Sheridan land with Landman. Probably a show y'all don't watch, but I'm sure that there are people that do. The reason I'm talking about this, Jerry Jones got to do a cameo where he basically got to tell the story about how he got to Dallas Cowboys. And it became, I Miss My Daughter, who's from Arkansas, went to Stanford. He moved to Palo Alto so he could be next to his daughter, and decided if he was going to be there, he needed to have a business to keep him there. So the man was going to buy houses, but he didn't because he's a wildcatter. So he looks at a hole and says, or he looks at the ground and says, be nice to put a hole there. Drills 4 gas wells. He strikes. That made him enough money to buy the Dallas Cowboys, which is his way of saying, I need to be working with my kids. And you can look at the Dallas Cowboys and see every one of them kids works for dad and works with dad, and they're successful in the business. The same thing has been true of Prime. Shedeur Sanders does not know what it is like to not be coached by his old man. Deion Sanders doesn't know what it is like to not coach his boys. That was the reason why I thought those two men would understand each other. And Deion can be Deion and Jerry can be Jerry, and nobody's going to feel as if they're encroaching on each other's territory. That said, it's already cool because football people have told you, me and others, Kellen Moore's the guy. Okay, sure, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm not fine with? I'm not fine with Kiki. You've never seen the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl.
Nope.
It ain't happened. But you know who you have seen? The friggin' Philadelphia Eagles. You know who you have seen? The friggin' New York Giants. You know who you might see? The friggin' Washington Commanders. Jerry, that can't stand. So I don't give a damn who you hire. Win me a Super Bowl. Between Oklahoma and Dallas, I am suffering over here watching everybody else's booty butt team go win a Super Bowl or a national championship. I can't live like this no more. I can't. I made it about me.
Well,
I'm the Dallas Cowboys fan suffering. I'm the Oklahoma fan suffering.
Yep.
I need this fixed. If Deion can do it, more power to him.
Yeah.
More power to him. If Kellen can do it, more power to him. I don't give a damn.
Give me a
I
winner.
need a Super Bowl. I need it right now.
All right.
Well, you're not gonna get it if they hire Kellen Moore. So I'm just being honest
Like a
with you.
little
Not gonna happen.
offensive guy.
They fired Kellen Moore
I'm going to
because
send
he
this man
threw
the
the ball
audacity of
too
hope.
much.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send
They
you that book.
fired Kellen Moore because he threw the ball too much. Now
That's
you're
all
gonna
Dak
go
can
hire
do,
him
man.
anyway, man. Thanks, RJ. That's a wrap for today's show. Thanks again to RJ Young for joining the show. Be sure to follow All Facts Pod on social media and subscribe on YouTube. Until then, it's Keyshawn. Peace.